program will begin in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
You need to. I rent a line too, so we'll do it for the press. I rent a line too, so I'm gonna test that.
Oh, you did? Sweet. Where'd you
I
find
just got a
the
little
XLR
closer.
cord?
I just had one, but it's not like packed knocking there. So
Yeah,
pretty much
I wish
it's kind of short, but it is what it is.
Yeah, mine is. I had two 2-foot cords.
Yeah.
You know what though? It's a 4-foot cord. And I can get behind it.
You can. There you go.
Great weather. Great day, mate. Ready to roll. Two things I got to do there. I can't dance. They won't let me. And I got to stay on script. One of those two I may do. What's up, man?
You and Perry have a dance song. That would be
That would not be bad.
Good afternoon, Macon-Bibb. Come on, good afternoon, Macon-Bibb. My name is Ivan Allen, and I have the pleasure of serving as chair of the Greater Macon Chamber of Commerce, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to historic Luther Williams Field and to the 2022 State of the Community event. Spring's in the air, and we're going to have a good day today. I want to start by thanking Brandon Raphael. Where are you? Where's Brandon? I said, look up there near the food. Thank you and the Macon Bacon for making this happen today. We're so proud to be at Luther Williams Field, and we want to thank you for your leadership and your partnership. Give them another hand, please. And now for a solemn part of our program where we will honor the greatest nation on earth. Please stand as the Macon-Bibb Fire Department's Honor Guard will present the colors, followed by Charles Davis's performance of the national anthem, after which I will give the Pledge of Allegiance, and then Pastor Jordan Batani will offer an invocation. Macon-Bibb Fire Department's Honor Guard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible. And now, Pastor Batani will take us to the throne of grace.
Good afternoon. You may be seated. Thank you to the Chamber and to the Mayor for the invitation today to be here to celebrate our beautiful community. It's an honor to be here today. My name is Jordan, and Kathy, when we met a couple weeks ago, asked that I just share a brief part of my story with you before our prayer. So 4 years ago, my wife and I moved here from Southern California, from San Diego. People believed it was either God or we were a little bit of crazy or a little bit of both. And but we believed, like you, we felt drawn to the city, and that Macon was a community worth investing. And we wanted to be a part of bringing restoration to a community. And as a pastor of a local church, our faith community celebrated an event that transformed history this weekend. And the resurrection event was a restoration of all things broken by death. And over the last decade, as a community, we have felt the pains of things broken by death. We have buried friends and family to gun violence. We have been closed businesses, and we have felt the sting of loss. But just as the resurrection of Jesus marked the beginning of things transformed, bringing dead things to life, I believe our city is beginning to experience a resurrection. And what we're seeing here today isn't just a resurrection of buildings, but it's a resurrection of our hearts, of our community. We're seeing people come together from all walks of life, all races, all economic levels, and all cultures, working together for the good of our community. We're cleaning up our community together, we're serving each other, and creating opportunities for one another. As a community, a church community, we've rallied around changing the narrative of our city. We began a campaign 3 years ago that we called Macon on the Rise, and the heart was to change the narrative of our city. You know, we see a lot of narrative on social media, and I appreciate Mayor Lester's candor to jump in there and defend our city. But you know, anyone can stand back and say things aren't bad or don't look great, but it takes true courage to put the shoulder to the plow and begin to take personal responsibility to change our community. You know, talk is easy, but work is hard. So today, as leaders of our city, both in business and faith, we all have a part to play. And when we come together, I believe we'll see a brighter future for our city. I'm reminded of Paul's words. He says, one plants, another waters, but it's God who makes it grow. So as we work together, not as individuals, not as churches, not as businesses, not as black or white, but as Macon-Bibb, united in our values and guided by our faith, I believe our best days are ahead. And I believe the best is yet to come from Macon, or as we like to say, Macon on the rise. Let's pray today. Lord, today we pause and we give thanks for all that you're doing in our community. We thank you for the new life that is springing forth. And as we celebrate today and look back on all that has been accomplished in this last year, we give thanks, for it is you who have sustained us. We ask you today to continue to guide us. We pray for our leaders, for Mayor Lester Miller, for the commissioners, for business leaders and leaders of our community, that you will grow them in your wisdom. And as they make plans and decisions for the future of Macon-Bibb, we ask that you give them insight and vision. We pray for our first responders who courageously serve our community, that you will protect and guide them. And we ask for your favor both in the eyes of men and in your sight to continue to grow our great city. So Lord, today we pray that you continue the resurrection work in our community, transforming Macon-Bibb into a place of refuge, of peace, and prosperity. And we look forward to the year to come, believing that our best days are before us. And today we recognize our part, but acknowledge it is you that makes it grow. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
All right, my friends, if you will, please, one more time, the honor guard, give them a hand. Where's Mr. Davis that just gave us the national anthem? Mr. Davis, thank you for that version of the national anthem. And then to Pastor Batani, thank you for those inspiring words, and I want to especially thank you for reminding us that the stench of death shall have no dominion over us. Though the poison arrow of death may pierce our frame, we might fall, but we will feel no pain. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Batani. And now we will move on in the program. I'd like to ask all chamber board members to please stand and be recognized. Come on, come on, come on. Give them a hand. Thank you so much. We are grateful today for our presenting sponsor, First Choice Primary Care, for their continued support of this annual signature event. Let's give them a hand. First Choice Primary Care. And it brings me great pleasure to bring Catherine McLeod, CEO of First Choice, to the stage for a few remarks. Come on. Come on, Catherine.
Thank you, Dr. Allen, and the chamber board members and everybody gathered here. It's a real pleasure for us to do this once again. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how close to be to this microphone. For those of us who don't know First Choice Primary Care, we're a private nonprofit community health center. We've been here for almost 15 years now, and this past year provided medical care to over 12,000 people here in Macon and in Warner Robins. We have a staff of now 8 physicians and 9 full-time nurse practitioners, several part-time. Anyway, we provide primary care to anybody who needs it. A few people I want to recognize today. Some of our board members are here. Camille Hope, who's our board president, Jill Vanderhook, who's on our board, Antonio Lewis Ross, and Elbert McQueen, who's over here at his atrium table. He's been a great board member for us for many years. I also want to thank our staff, the folks in the green shirt here. If you didn't already pick up our swag bags, I don't know that many people give out free COVID tests, but we thought it was appropriate for us to do that. So, because we're not done with this virus, or it's not done with us. We continue to do COVID vaccines, and anybody we can talk into it. But that's what we're here to do. I also want to recognize Dr. Tim Graves. He's our medical director and has been here with First Choice since day one. And Dr. Karen Reynolds, who's the newest member of our physician staff. She just joined us this month. She's also Air Force veteran and was stationed at Robins at one point, and Army Reserve, Air Force Reserve, excuse me. So we were glad to have an opportunity to let her come learn a little bit more about what's happened in the Macon area since she lived here before. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And we're looking forward to hearing the mayor's remarks about how we can all move forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. We'd also like to thank our gold sponsors. We've got All State Electrical Contractors, Atrium Health Navicent, Communities and Schools of Central Georgia, Cox Communications, GEICO, Georgia Power, Jones Cork, Magda Law, McNair, McLemore, and Middlebrooks Company, LLC. Give them all a hand, please. Our silver sponsors, Argoside Partners, Macon Bacon. Thanks again to the Macon Bacon for letting us be here today. Stifel Nicholas Company, Truist McGriff Insurance Services, and YKK. Please give them a hand. Finally, a sincere thanks to our bronze sponsors, All Care Home Health, Community Foundation of Central Georgia, Macon-Bibb County Industrial Authority, and Robins Financial Credit Union. Please, show them some love. All right, here's the part of our program where I get to try to call out all the names of elected officials without messing one of them up or having anybody get upset. So y'all bear with me. If I take my time here, let's thank them for doing the difficult service that some of us will complain about but do not want to do. You know I'm right. All right. First and foremost, the Honorable Lester Miller, Mayor of Macon-Bibb. The Honorable Seth Clark, Mayor Pro Tem of Macon-Bibb. I'm going to run down the commissioners. Commissioner Valerie Wynn, Paul Bronson, Elaine Lucas, Mallory Jones III, Raymond Wilder, William Howell, Virgil Watkins, and Al Tillman. Give them a hand. Joining us today, we're also pleased to have the Honorable LaRonda Patrick of Warner Robins. And now, please help me welcome Shanika Davis from the U.S. Senate Office of Senator Warnock. Where are you? Shabonda Hill, representing Congressman Sanford Bishop. Alice Johnson, representing Congressman Austin Scott. Two of my favorite folks are here today from the Georgia General Assembly. Excuse me. The gentleman from the 140th, Robert Dickey. The gentleman from the 146th, Shaw Blackman. Thank you, my friends, for what you do for our great state. Members of the Macon Water Authority, now I have to stop right here and say this. This first name I'll call, Sam Hart, chairman, has been like a pastor to me since I was a little boy. If y'all will please give Sam a hand. Frank Patterson, vice chairman. Anissa Jones-Aiken and Shedrick Clark. Give them a hand. My friends over at the school board, Lisa Garrett, Darrell Morton, James Freeman, Joanne Jackson. We're also honored to have Pamela White Colbert, the Chief Civil and Magistrate Judge of Bibb County. All right, now, my friends, I've struggled through all those names. It's a special part of our program. I have the pleasure today of introducing Colonel Lindsay Droz, 78th Air Base Wing Commander, Robins Air Force Base. Would you please give her a hand as she comes? Colonel Droz is a great American. She is one who has given the selfless sacrifice to protect, defend the greatest nation on earth. We appreciate you, Colonel Droz. We're proud of the work you do, and we hope that you will continue to provide the very blanket of security under which we as Americans sleep every night. Colonel Droz.
All right, wow. What a phenomenal venue. This is absolutely incredible. I think we hit the sweet spot between gnat season and hot season. So really excited to be here today. Thank you, Mayor Miller, Greater Macon Chamber, Dr. Allen. I'm honored to be here representing the 24,000 men and women at Robins Air Force Base. An Air Force Base is only as strong and as powerful as the community outside the gates. And man, we've got a great one. We are honored to be a part of this community. The men and women at Robins live in the community, serve in the community, serve right alongside you, and we are honored to do so. When I look out in the audience, I look at this community, it is phenomenal. It's diverse, it's got a richness of character and spirit and a generosity that's unmatched by any other military installation out here, and I could be more proud to be a member of this community. 80 years ago, small dairy farm in Middle Georgia became what is now the largest single-site industrial complex in the state of Georgia. And we just continue to grow and get bigger and better. And that's largely in part of the community that we are involved in. It's also the 75th anniversary of the Air Force this year. So we got 5 years on the whole Air Force, which is awesome as well. So again, on behalf of the 24,000 men and women of Robins Air Force Base, we know that the saying is every day in Middle Georgia's Armed Forces Appreciation Day, but we like to say every day at Robins Air Force Base is Middle Georgia Appreciation Day. So thank you. Have a great day.
I'd also like to ask you to recognize Chief Master Sergeant Raul Salinas, Interim Installation Commander and Chief of the 78th Air Base Wing. Please stand. Please stand. One thing that Colonel Droles did not mention that I will take a moment of personal privilege to mention, $5.46 billion flowing through this economy is through Robins Air Force Base. Believe me, we will preserve and protect that base in this community. And now, for the thousands gathered and the millions who are watching around the world, it gives me great pleasure to get to the main event. Are you ready? Are you ready? It is my honor and my privilege to introduce Mayor Lester Miller today. He is in the month number 4 of his second year in this role as mayor. He's not new to this community, however. He's served for many years in many, many capacities. Cherry Blossom. Before there was a consolidated government he was serving, he served at the Board of Education. He has given so much of his life, his time, his talent, his effort to this community. He's a patriot, is what I believe, over in Southwest High School. He knows the importance of a strong education. He's been a successful small business owner. He has supported the Chamber for decades. His support is evident in what he's doing in the Office of Small Business Affairs, and he has connected that office to our local community as well as the international community. He knew before he was elected how important it would be to bring people together. And so we applaud his efforts to put together a diverse group as he was coming into office to look at our problems, stare them in the eye, and take the challenge of making this a better community. We all remember the first few months he was there, his first State of the Community. He launched a new and expanded work in terms of opening this heating, what do you call that, Mr. Mayor? The Warming Center. I've heard speech after speech about the lives that have been touched through that effort. I'm excited about what he's doing over at the mall, trying to revitalize a part of town that needs revitalization. I'm inspired by what he and the commissioners have done with blight. I'm glad to be a part of this team. I'm honored to have this opportunity to introduce him. And before we do that, please allow me to introduce his 18, his wife of 32 years, Toby. Let's give Toby a hand. Is she with us today, Mr. Mayor? Please have a stand. Where's the First Lady? The First Lady of Macon-Bibb. And so I thank you for letting me have this opportunity to introduce you. We know as a community there will be challenging days ahead. In every community, a little rain will fall. What will we do together when we stand shoulder to shoulder to move forward? And so, Mr. Mayor, I want to implore you, encourage you. Keep working for good, keep working for right. Keep trying to unify folks rather than to fight with people. My friends, please join me in welcoming the Mayor of Macon-Bibb, Mayor Lester Miller.
Together, we are one Macon. We are strong. We are nimble. We are smart, and we are ready to work together, a team for success for our whole community.
A lot can happen in a year, especially when many of you stepped up to the plate as Team Macon-Bibb.
We opened a safe and warm space for anyone in our community to stay, get the help they needed to get back on their feet to move forward. In 2021, more than 1,000 people came through the Brookdale Resource Center. We served 57 families and cared for 158 children, helped 142 people get jobs, and 37 people get back home. More than 3,000 of you joined us in stepping up to the plate to help people in need get a fresh start at life.
We made it easier to get mental health support. In a year, we brought free services into our neighborhoods, helping more than 400 people and their families. We provided more than 1,400 hours of counseling, and more than 300 people attended our events, which included canning, knitting, and outdoor pop-up jams. We stepped up to the plate because making mental health matters.
$40 million has been allocated to help retain the people who protect our safety, to keep their experience and leadership in our community. Add to that an increase to starting pay, and we're now in a better position to attract more people to the team and to keep the best for many years to come. We're also getting a new state-of-the-art training facility to better prepare our firefighters, and we spent millions on new equipment and technology for the Sheriff's Office. We're teaming up to make our community safer.
For the first time ever, we honored and celebrated our veterans with a parade and a free concert, thanks to the Cherry Blossom Festival and Macon Bacon. We wanted to say thank you to veterans and their families for their service. It was a special day. We stepped up to the plate to make sure our community had the chance to say thank you to our veterans for serving our country.
Tourism continues to become a larger and stronger industry in our community. With the expansion of Okmulgee Mounds National Historical Park, strong support for restaurants and stores, new and old, and so many festivals and events, it's easy to see why we were able to celebrate the opening of Hotel 45 in the heart of downtown. We stepped up to the plate to make sure we have a place people want to visit, and the hotels are stepping up to give them an amazing place to stay.
We clean up our community, from the smallest bits of litter to old tires, yard debris, large piles of trash, furniture illegally dumped in neighborhoods. We did it together. Departments and agencies work with our neighborhoods to keep streets clean, and then keep them clean. Hundreds of illegal dump sites cleared up, hundreds of neighborhood-led cleanups, millions of pounds of debris. We all stepped up to the plate week in and week out to show our friends and family that clean streets matter in Macon-Bibb.
We have focused on removing blight and improving our neighborhoods all over the county.
We've worked with multiple partners to rebuild homes, tear down blighted structures, and strengthen the enforcement of our codes. In a year, we've removed structures that increase crime, endanger children, lead to infestations, and bring down entire streets. Blight spreads when left unchecked, and we all stepped up to the plate to put a stop to it.
Together, we're revitalizing areas and expanding opportunities in our community, bringing hope back to our neighbors. We've launched a project that will change businesses and neighborhoods in West Macon and benefit our entire region. The changes coming to the Macon Mall, including a signature amphitheater, will bring more people into our community and convince others to stay. Revitalizing the Eisenhower Business District is a game-winning play.
We are continuing to recruit companies from all around the world to bring new jobs and private investment, building a stronger team Macon-Bibb. Just this past year, we have seen more than 300 new jobs and more than $25 million of private investment go into the Middle Georgia Regional Airport. With MHIRJ's commitment and the Dean Baldwin Painting hangar doors officially open, we are making opportunities to make this a grand slam.
Our community is a hub of activity, with people coming here every day for work, shopping, eating, and entertainment. Many more stop here while traveling along the interstates, and they all use our roads and are protected by our public safety officers. Our community stepped up to the plate and overwhelmingly passed the OLOST, an additional penny on the sales tax that will lead to the largest single property tax reduction in our history.
Public safety is the #1 issue for people in our community. A crime in one part of Macon-Bibb affects each and every one of us, no matter where we live. And that's why hundreds in our community came together to say enough is enough. To fight for homes is one, knowing it'll take each of us doing what we can, when we can, and for as long as we can. Macon violence prevention is guided by our community for our community. And now that we've stepped up to the plate to make our community safer, we're not stepping back until we've won the game.
All right. 2 things I promised today. Not to dance and to stay on script. So forgive me for breaking both of those promises. But I will say, it is a great day to be in Macon-Bibb County. Don't you agree? I could literally just get up here and just drop the mic after that video, right? That video was done, created internally by our staff. Not only our staff, but the nationally ranked #1 government communicator of the year. Where's Chris Floyd? As well as all of his staff, I see them standing here now, received numerous awards, not just in the state of Georgia, but all across the United States
recognizing that we have talent right here in our community. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Ivan Allen, for your kind words. It's always hard to follow Ivan, as most of you know. He can be many things: a preacher, a cheerleader, an orator. But to me, he's my friend. He's my supporter. He's a man that will never waver when you ask for his support. We need more people like Ivan Allen. We're here at historic Luther Williams Field, full of energy, thanks in part to the Macon-Bacon baseball team and support of so many people. It's that level of energy and support that I know and I feel our community, and for the work we're doing together to move us all forward. And because of that energy, that support, I stand before you and say that this past year, and what I can see for next year, the state of our community is thankful. It is thankful that we're pulling together as Team Macon-Bibb. It is thankful that we move more and more working toward common goals. Thank you. It is thankful because we're making plans for this year and next year and the year after. Most importantly, though, it is thankful that we're quickly addressing the issues people have expressed to us over and over again. It is thankful that it sees the work we're doing on a daily basis. It is thankful for the new jobs that we are creating and bringing to Macon-Bibb County. It is thankful for the 35 to 40% reduction that you will see in 2023 in your property taxes that will happen next year. It is thankful for the cleaner streets, for our expanded services. So today, the annual State of the Community Address, I want to personally thank each and every one of you and to congratulate many of people unable to attend today for stepping up to the plate and accomplishing what featured in the video for so much of us. Let me start by thanking the Greater Macon Chamber of Commerce for hosting this great event once again. It is truly a marker in where we're going. Thank you for supporting our business community and focusing on workforce development and building our future through Leadership Macon program. One person cannot go into this alone. So let me begin by asking the great employees of Macon-Bibb County Consolidated Government to stand and be thanked by this group. Please stand. Every day, I can call on these people to help our community. And without hesitation, they leap forward. Nothing I do will be possible without their support, their input, and their expertise. They serve tirelessly behind the scenes to protect our families, our homes, to fix our roads, support small businesses, clean our streets, take care of parks, provide opportunities for our children, and so much more. Thank you to the Bibb County Board of Education and outgoing superintendent, our National Superintendent of the Year, Dr. Curtis Jones. Thank you, Dr. Jones, for leading our students and our schools out of the darkness and putting them on the path to greater success. Thank you, United Way, and our nonprofit community for being so dedicated and tireless in helping the people who need it the most. I am amazed each and every day, and by the stories that I hear from our community and the people all across our county. I'm glad that the commission and myself were able to find money to help you work together on so many initiatives. Thank you to the Macon-Bibb County Industrial Authority for attracting new businesses, industries, and jobs, and for making us a hub of employment, especially at the expanding of the Middle Georgia Regional Airport. Just last week, we were able to announce our newest partner, MHIRJ, and celebrated 200 new jobs, good quality jobs for our students, right here in Macon. Last year, I asked you to join Team Macon-Bibb, and many of you stepped up to the plate, either with resources or plans by simply asking, how can we help? It is amazing to see so many people willing to help, to move our community forward together. You have truly stepped up to the plate and run hard around those bases. Knowing our community just can't wait. We celebrate this past year while standing at the historic Macon Luther Williams baseball field, where some of the greats have played. But make no mistake, we remain focused on our future. This is more than just a single at bat, an inning, a game. We have a lot more work to do. Our opponents, other communities, crime, perception, health factors, online commentators, commenters are all fighting against us, hoping that we won't succeed. We can high-five each other today and every day after a highlight reel like the one we just saw. But that's just 1 year, folks. 1 year. We can't just watch this nice video. We can't just celebrate all the initiatives that we had last year. We can't just sit back and relax. What we did in just 1 year should reinvigorate us to do more. What can we accomplish by building on this success and going harder, going faster, working more closely together this year? What can we do if we all focus on the goal, on the result? Not whose logo is bigger, not whose name is first on the news release, but all together. You see, this isn't about me. It isn't about you. It's really not about us that sits here today. It's about them, the people who can't be here today, the people we serve each and every day, the people who benefit from work, from the ones who get the jobs in these new facilities, to the children who want a better education, to the people who get mental health services they need, to the people who find a safe home, to that family protected from violence. Go off script for just 1 second. I want all of you to be very appreciative and thankful. I see our sheriff back here today to my left. He's got that white hat on. We all know that he's had some battles and some struggles, and God has placed a challenge on him, but he's resilient. He's come back to Macon. He looks good. He's ready to work, and we're ready to work with him to make a difference in our community. So Sheriff Davis, thank you for what you do. I know there are still struggles ahead just like our community, but I want you to know that we are with you, we are praying for you, and you have our full support. But we're not here today just merely to celebrate. We can't just look back and say we've accomplished a lot. We must keep our eyes forward. We're not here to create some to-do list that we can check off the box and review it next year and say, I told you I did this. We are here to recommit to our community, to win this game for others, not ourselves. We are here to be Team Macon-Bibb. This next year, I promise you, we will continue to change more and more lives for the better. Step by step, day by day, week by week, month by month. No, it won't be easy, and it won't be quick, but we will do it together. We will argue. Where's my commissioner table at? They're not laughing. We would disagree. We may decide how to do things differently together. But if we all keep in mind the people and the community that we are serving, that benefit, I know we'll keep coming back to the table to find a solution. In this next year, I challenge each and every person here and each and every organization that's here today to come together stronger than before and help us change lives. Because people are thankful that we're acting, and we will continue to act for their benefit and their behalf. What we just discussed is what we have been able to accomplish in just 1 year. Where are we going? What is next for Macon-Bibb County? For this one, I may go off a script just for a moment. Number one, to my lovely wife, I want you to know I did not tell Ivan Allen to call you First Lady. I promise you that was not in the script. He knows that you don't like to be called that, so I think that's why he did it. But I appreciate your love, your support, and what you do to allow me to do what I do. I also have my mom and my dad here with me today, seated at the same table with my sister. We cannot do this without watching them live their lives and the person that I am. So thank you all for being here today. Now, Ivan mentioned something about sometimes forgetting people, so I'm not going to start naming everybody. But if I remember correctly, when he was introducing folks, some of my good friends at the Board of Education's name may have been omitted. If not, I'm going to mention them again. I do remember Dr. Sundar Woodford is here today. I saw her personally. I don't remember her name being mentioned. If I'm wrong, you just got another shout out. Kristen Hanlon, I'm not sure if Kristen is here, but I think I saw her. There she is. She's at another table. She's here today, and I want to make sure that she gets recognized. There are two of our board members that have the weight of our county on their backs. So that I want to make sure, as being a former board member, that I recognize you. I see Jawan Jackson out there, who represents my district out there. I think his name was mentioned earlier, but he's waving at me. And right behind him, we have Ms. Murtis Johnson. Thank you, Murtis, for being here today and for your service in our community on the school board as well. So I want to make sure that people get their time. And this is not about me, but it's about us. So what do we have to look forward to? Many of you may have heard about this program called MVP. MVP, Macon Violence Prevention. What does it mean? Focus on the key word, prevention. But I don't want you to think about this in just one single factor. I want you to think about this from a holistic community approach. Now, public safety has always been a top priority. And that is why the commissioners and myself made the very first step to make sure for the next 10 years that we made sure we're going to have $40 million set aside for our good men and women in public safety that serve us on every day for the next 10 years. You can clap on that. You've heard me say this before, and I'll continue to say it as long as it's true. And I support our men and our women, and I will go to battle for them each and every day. Many of us would not want those jobs. to worry about whether or not you're going to make it home to your family that night. See, I know it's not about the money for them. It's not about the money. But we need more of them. In this environment, in our national environment, in a pandemic, it is hard to do. But like I always say, and don't take this the wrong way, we cannot police ourselves out of the crime situation that we have. And I truly mean that. We will hire every qualified deputy that signs up. Let me look straight ahead to the media because I see them right here. Make no mistake, we will hire every single qualified deputy that completes an application in Macon-Bibb County to work for us. It's not a funding issue with this commission. They have made it clear about public safety. But there are other things we can do. We must attack the root causes that create the crime. You see, I've got to reach out to that second grader, the third grader. I've got to teach them values. I've got to take care of some of the trauma that they faced. I've got to make sure that when they get 18 years old, they don't pick up that gun, that they solve conflict another way. That's what the Macon Violence Prevention is about. It's about sheriff-led, and he has the part that he's going to do with his office. Focused deterrence. Getting him the best technology to work with to combat crime in Macon-Bibb County. But these faith leaders we have in our community, and I see several of you here today, you have to step up to the plate. You have to get from around those pews, and you have to get into the community to help us. You have to do it. Now, people wonder why crime has been so high, but think about this. Who are the two most qualified systems in our country that help our youth? The school systems and our churches. It's no surprise to me, we've been closed the last 12 to 18 months. Those two folks have been closed down. What do we expect to happen to these children? We have to act. I hope you join me with the MVP program. We have a lot going on. I see our community foundation and their representatives here today. We appreciate your support. So right now, we're going to be evaluating community grants when we went through all the community. We're going to evaluate solutions that you have right there in your community. And those excuses about not having the funds to do it, that no longer exists. Now is your time to step up to the plate to help our community. I'm going to ask Jeremy Grissom to stand up. Jeremy's in the very back, straight ahead. Jeremy's a full 4 days at work on this side of the equation for Macon-Bibb County. He is our MVP coordinator. He's got a lot of work to do. What I like about Jeremy is on day one, he pulled up his sleeve. He came in there and he went about the business. We will work through our partners. We're going to provide children and adults the opportunities to support the services they need to walk a better life and to have a clearer pathway to succeed in life. You see, I believe Macon-Bibb County has some of the best and brightest students in this state. And if you don't believe that, you can leave right now. Because I see it every day. I see it. We have the best students. We have jobs for them. We have careers for them. We have hope for them. But we need to encourage them. So where do we get these jobs, you may ask? Let me talk about the airport for just one moment, because the airport is a significant economic development for our community. More jobs are coming to our area. We've heard for so many years that the airport growth is hampered by the length of its runway. Well, guess what? This year, finally, you're going to start seeing some work on that runway to get extended. You can clap. It's no longer a dream, folks. We're going to be a hub. We have a lot of land that's been taken up for a lot of large companies, and we've expanded our path, our blueprint. But those are good quality jobs. Good jobs. Between Dean Baldwin and the last company we just signed this last week, it's about 400 to 500 good quality jobs and room for expansion. We can't be scared to dream big. I won't be scared to dream big. I make no apologies about moving swift. You know, part of the argument that we have a lot of times is government people talking and cutting through red tape. That's half your weight. The work's not that hard. So let's just work together to make it happen. We know what we want. I'm not taking no for an answer, I promise you. I may detour around you if you get in the way, or I may run over you. But we're going to make this happen because our kids are depending on us. And we're much younger today, but some years down the road, we're going to depend on them. And if we don't plant that seed today, we're going to reap what we sow later on. I'm excited about what we're doing there. I'm excited about the possibility of being able to get on a plane in downtown in Macon, Georgia, and travel somewhere else on vacation without having to drive to Atlanta, wait hours through baggage, and then going somewhere else. I'm excited about seeing those Delta planes land so they can come here and our kids can make money by painting and doing work on those planes. I'm excited about supporting our Warner Robins Air Force Base. And we can do that. We have the people, we have the tools. So next year when you wonder what we're going to do about creating jobs, we're going to focus on that airport as well. You're going to see more things to come about that. Because those are good jobs. And our students deserve those good jobs and those good opportunities. Let's talk about pickleball. Yeah, I didn't say pickleball, I said pickleball. Some of you may have seen that on TV, may have even played it. You know, our physical and mental health is so important to our families. I myself, and I know many of you are going to be surprised, have made a point to get to the gym several days a week after work, and I encourage all of you to do the same thing. Find your preferred physical activity this next year. You'll feel better. You'll be more focused. So I know you're asking yourself, what in the world does this have to do with this? Well, I want us to be the top spot in the country for the fastest growing sport of pickleball. We're already recognized at the state level for our new courts, public support, including having Tatnall Square Pickleball and Tennis Center named the best in this state already. I know this is not Texas, but we need to go bigger. What do they say? Go big or go home. Like the song says, y'all ain't really ready now, are you? You're not. You don't dream big enough for me. We have no limits on what we want to do. The only limits we have are ourselves. So at the pickleball mall, in the Belts location, we want to have 32 indoor courts. 32 indoor courts where people can go enjoy the sport. You may want to grab something to drink while you're there, or eat. But guess what? You can have numerous events there each and every year. They tell me by looking at that location there, we can have 1,200 individuals come play over a 4-day period several times a year. And guess what they bring with them? That's right. I used to say that green stuff, but it may be Bitcoin, Cash App, I don't know what it is these days. But I know it spins, and I know we can't get enough of it in Macon-Bibb County. As a matter of fact, while we're talking about that, I'll tell you, this last year in 2021, we collected the most sales tax and most motel tax that we've ever collected in our history. Ever. Don't let people tell you that Macon-Bibb County is not on the rise. Don't believe for one moment that we're not headed in the right direction. Speaking of the Macon Mall, this time I may get off script again. Many of you know that it's near and dear to my heart because those 7 elementary schools that I went to coming up, it all centered around the Macon Mall. We have an untapped resource there. I'm passionate about it. I know it's going to work. As a matter of fact, we plan on moving several of our governmental offices there. So we know we're going to have some foot traffic. As a matter of fact, when you go to vote, you don't have to worry about drinking any water. You don't have to worry about whether it's raining outside or how hot it is. You show up to vote indoors in the Macon Mall. We're going to have the largest, most technologically advanced Board of Elections in the Southeast United States right here at our Macon Mall. Right now, we are working on, I saw my friends at Piedmont are here, they are working on, they promised me they're going to outwork me on this project. It's going to be on time and under budget, guaranteed. They are working hard to provide you, all of Middle Georgia, all the Southeast United States, one of the largest, most sophisticated amphitheaters that we have ever seen. It's 10,000 plus seats amphitheater. Now I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, and I feel like that when I'm on Facebook late at night. When these people have the audacity to tag me on a post talking about the Macon Mall and an amphitheater. Of course, sometimes I say some things perhaps that I shouldn't, but it's hard to sit back when you talk about my community. Sometimes I say it's an elephant in the room. You call it what you want to call it. I saw Stacy Moore earlier, who runs our Cherry Blossom Festival and who just had one of the largest festivals we ever had in Macon-Bibb County. Please give them applause. I don't know, Gary, something like $3.5 million in economic impact. Hundreds of thousands of people come to Macon-Bibb County on our streets at all times of the day and all times of the night. No incidences. None. So if there's not a crime issue during the Cherry Blossom pageant and all these other wonderful things we do downtown and around, who are you to say that we're going to have issues on my side of the town over in West Macon? I take personal offense to anyone. Listen, I don't care if you voted for me or not. I really don't. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. And the day it opens, don't call me for free tickets, right? I've been to Atlanta. I've been to the place where they call an amphitheater there. I've seen the neighborhoods around there. I've seen the parking around there. They have nothing on the Macon Mall. That place will be safe. It will be secure. That is my community. That is your community. If you don't want to come, stay at home. It will be full of people bringing their money to fellowship and have a good time on many occasions. I broke my promise, I'm sorry. Think about you're in Ohio. You want to play in a pickleball tournament down in Macon, Georgia. Maybe you've never been there before, but you know they got an indoor facility. So when you book that hotel room, when you book that plane ticket, when you work out and you buy all those nice equipment to come to Macon, doesn't matter what the weather is because we know we're in Macon. It could be snowing tomorrow, it could be raining today, it could be hot, it could be cold. but you're going to be indoors. It's a guaranteed event. But while you're there, you can shop at the mall, because there will be retail at the mall. There's already 32 stores there, by the way. We have room for much more. Oh yeah, by the way, your favorite performer is going to be performing tonight. Whoever it may be. Matter of fact, let's just take a test right here. When I ask you who your favorite performer that you want to see there, I want you to yell it out. And if I'm watching you and your mouth don't move, I'm going to call you out. Right? My spotter's going to help me. So who would you like to see at the Macon Mall? What? I heard a parrot head over there. I hear you. One more time. Who would you like to see at the mall? That's right. So people question whether people are going to come to Macon to do a performance. Aren't we the music capital of the world? Aren't we? Do they know the talent that we have here now? They ever heard of somebody called Otis Redding? Maybe. Allman Brothers? Maybe they haven't. Maybe they've been living under a rock. They will show up. They will have the best time, and they will never go back to Atlanta again. See, those folks are going to come here, and they're going to drop off that money, and we're going to put it to good use helping our people. So let's talk about helping our people. Let's talk about the living conditions that some of our people live in, and how we can't just turn a blind eye and pretend like it doesn't happen. I saw many of our code enforcement here today, some of our people from the health department here today, along with our sheriff's department. You know, we've had some issues with some of the apartment complexes, some of the motels in Macon-Bibb County. We all know they're there, right? Unless you drive with your eyes closed, you see them. We all know what kind of activity goes on there. We all know what kind of money they're making there. So the commission, along with myself, have decided to make this a priority as well. Our job is to legislate, and that's what we're doing. We're creating policies that are going to protect our citizens in Macon-Bibb County. We're going to make sure that our employees and our staffs and our lawyers have the tools to work with. When they show up at your door and they tell you that your electricity needs work, that you can't turn the water off, that your conditions are substandard. You know what somebody told me recently? They've been telling me that for 5 years. And today they took me to jail. Those days are over. We have a list, and we're going to check it twice. And when they show up to knock on your door, you best get busy repairing, or you will be shut down. I know that seems harsh, but we can't let slumlords, especially since we're already challenged with our inventory on housing, mistreat people while making a buck. It will not happen on our watch. We will hold people accountable, and I think people know that. Every person in Macon-Bibb County deserves a healthy place to live. We have the tools and the resources to make that happen and to help make sure it doesn't happen again. While we're talking about living conditions, let's talk about blight. Seems like a year ago, because it was a year ago, that I was looking in the other direction from center field. And some people thought I was crazy when I said over the next 30 days, we're going to take down 30 homes. I saw the doubt. I had several media folks come up to me afterwards and asked me that question several times, thinking they had misheard. Because what do we know about blight? I'll tell you a little bit about blight. If you walk to school or ride your bike like I do a long time ago, because you live just far enough where they won't take a bus to you, but far enough where you had to walk uphill both ways in the snow. You know what I'm saying? Chasing dogs and everything. But today, our kids, some of our children have to walk across that same burned structure each and every day. Maybe they're in middle school. They're in the 6th grade. They walk by there with a backpack, excited about going to school. Believe it or not, we do have kids that are excited about learning. We need to be excited with them. They're walking down the street and they see this burned down house Monday through Saturday, sometimes Saturday. Next week, guess what? House is still there. This time they see a couple of people that look like they're up to something at that house. A month later, they see some smoke coming out of the house and they see our Class 1 fire department show up to put it out. 5 months down the road, that house is still there. But now it's got rats in it, it's got some dogs, some stray cats coming in and out. A year from now, it's got a tree growing out of the windshield, out of the window. What does that say for that child's mental health? What did that say to that child about how we value and care for them? All of us can make a list today on places that we go to. It's a problem. What does it breed? It breeds crime. Some of these hecklers on Facebook and other social media say, oh, Mayor Miller's doing something on crime. Ha ha, he took down so many houses. Well, what's in those houses? Drugs, stolen merchandise, illicit activity, lack of hope for a child walking to school each and every day because no one values him or her. It's important. So not only do we take down 30 and 30, what's the count? 156 houses that we have demolished as of today. We've got many more to go, but we are working each and every day. If you don't believe it, we take it live. We want you to see it in action. Some person, and I won't call out her name, had the nerve yesterday to tell me, you shouldn't take these houses down. Is that what you want your legacy to be about, taking houses down? Well, I think the people told me when I went through neighborhood to neighborhood for the last 2 years before I got elected that I'm tired of seeing blight and I want something done about it. So yeah, if that's going to be my legacy, so be it. But like I told you last year, it's not about just tearing down. See, that's just one part of it. We don't have an option of whether we want to take that house down. It's not healthy, has a criminal element, and we have a plan to make sure it happens. We have the team to make sure it happens. We are going to make it happen. Despite what you may say, despite what you may text, despite what you may type so bravely behind that computer, the work's going to get done. It'd be a lot easier if you join the team and help us out, but it's going to get done. This time next year, we hope to have over 300 and something houses torn down. And as most of our staff knows, we're going to hold them to it. We're going to work with everyone, including our tax commissioner. I'm not sure if I've seen Wade McCoy here today, but our tax commissioner is working hard in his office, along with our blight program, and our land bank authority as well. Because when I say it's not just about tearing things down, it's about building things up. Last night someone said, what you going to do after you tear it down? We got all this overgrown. Okay, it's got to come down. Number one, there's not an option. Would you rather have a burned out structure that's going to fall on a child and hurt them, drug activity next door to you, or would you rather have a vacant lot there? So number one, it's going to happen. Number two, and hopefully my commissioners will forgive me just now, I am hoping that they will support a new initiative in the upcoming months that we're going to team up with several of our good foundations and our partners, along with Macon Housing Authority, along with some banks in Macon, to do a revolving loan fund that will allow us to leverage our funds from ARP. So we can put money in, but we can ask each of these other folks to put money in as well. See, we won't leverage. That's called buy-in. It's called having skin in the game. We want to create opportunities as many of our census tracts to make sure that those holes can now turn out to opportunities to borrow money at low interest so people can rebuild those homes and we can rebuild our neighborhoods. Because see, many neighborhoods in the past have been neglected. You can shake your head. Many neighborhoods have been neglected. Many people in those neighborhoods would love to go to a bank and borrow money to fix that roof, to fix that porch, to paint, to add on. Woo! They would love to do those things, think they blew something out. But they don't have the opportunities to do so. They have too many barriers in place to do those things. We're not going to move forward as a community if we sit back and continue to let those things happen. You can call it what you want. We know where the neighborhoods are. But what happens when those houses fall into disrepair? The values drop, the tax base drops, the appraisals drop. Even if the person has good credit, they go to a bank to get turned down because you're not going to get that gap financing in between. We cannot, we will not allow this to happen. So those holes you see out there, I see those as opportunities for growth. And we're going to make sure that we have the funding available in a joint effort that the average person can borrow money at a low interest to repair or build a home so we can have a homeowner in that neighborhood. People think Macon is not on the move. Do you know last year we had 543 new homes constructed in Macon-Bibb County? I bet you didn't know that. Nobody wrote a book about it, right? Wasn't in the paper, wasn't on the news. I've seen plenty in our surrounding counties where they promote that. I have a goal and I have a pledge from last year, for 4 years that I know I'll be in this office, that we construct 2,000 new homes in Macon-Bibb County and fill those with families. 2,000. Very conservative estimate. We should hit that mark. Let's talk a little bit about what we can do about beautifying our community. I see many people here today that are very familiar with that. And I want to ask my good friend Aisha Ellen to stand up. Very back. I promise next year I'll get you a closer seat, Aisha. She's been newly promoted, hired, recognized as the new director of the Keep Macon-Bibb Beautiful. Aisha, there's about 500 people today, so you have a lot of volunteers here. I can see it. She needs your help. She needs your help when we're together every quarter, every weekend, picking up trash in our community. And don't tell me you get discouraged because you pick up trash and you see it back there again. We can't let them win. They're going to get tired of throwing up that trash as much as you get tired of picking it up. But we've got to be resilient. We've got to educate our children about how important our environment is and how we need to be better stewards of it. How we need to lead by example. Because the child doesn't learn how to throw a bottle out the window by themselves, right? I haven't seen any small children throw the baby bottle out the window, any trash out the window. They learn it from somebody. And apparently it happens a lot on curves and at stop signs, right? That's where I see a lot of trash at, because they think no one is looking. We need the community to step up. We are doing our part. The commission approved the budget last year to put $1 million additional to make sure that we clean up our community. Not only that, they allocated the funds to make sure that our gateways will become to look like they should look like. You know, we want people to get off at an exit in Macon-Bibb County and it be inviting. Don't you want that? Won't you tend to spend some money and actually stay at a place you're traveling through if you get off and it's inviting, if it's attractive, if it's safe, if it's manicured? I know I do. Sadly, I have to admit, if I was a stranger to Macon-Bibb County and I was traveling through on my way to somewhere else and I got off at one of our exits, I would probably get back on the interstate and go somewhere else. That shouldn't have to happen. Our good friends at the Industrial Authority, when they're trying to bring new prospects to Macon-Bibb County, They shouldn't have to worry about what they see when they get off the exit. They shouldn't have to worry about taking them a special route so they don't see parts of Macon. That's unconscionable. It's not acceptable in 2022. We're going to beautify our community. We're going to keep having these cleanups. We want you to help us. We want you to do your part. Not too far from here, matter of fact, if you go out this back gate, you go across the tracks, you take a left, you'll come to 11th Street. We have the Cadillac of convenience centers there. The Cadillac of convenience centers. Take all your cardboard, your paper, your batteries. How many places can you take batteries? Right there. Your tires, your liquids, your paint, your plastics, your debris, your concrete. I can go on and on. We have it there for a reason, for you to use it. We want you to use it. We'd rather it be there than to be on the side of our roadways. We have to be good stewards, and it starts with us. It starts with me, and it starts with you. First impressions really do matter. If you want those good paying companies, good paying jobs to come to our community, if economic development is a priority to you, we have to do the basic things, like picking up trash. Again, Aisha, thank you for your effort. Before she even started her first day, she and I spent some time picking up trash on the side of the road. We learned a lot that day, right, Aisha? I call it a teaching moment. At the last minute, we had 3 ladies that showed up from a church not far away, over by Hollingsworth, off a log cabin. And to me, it was a very teachable moment. Let me walk you through that just a moment, because we come up, we're picking up trash, and we see an illegal dump. And they ask, somebody should take care of it. What do we do? So we talk to them about secret fix. We have to kind of teach them about how to take a picture and where it's supposed to go and which department handles that. That's important. We get on up the road and we see some trees overhanging on what appears to be a light pole and some wires there, and as you go through the curve, trucks would scrape up on it. What do we talk about? Who in Bibb County takes care of that responsibility? A teachable moment. I don't know if I should say this next one, but we go up and we see what used to be a possum in the road. And they asked, well, who takes care of this? And we told them who took care of that. As we continue to pick up trash, and well, I see Commissioner Tillman somewhere. Commissioner Tillman's talking to everybody that drives by while I'm picking up trash. He's protecting us, wink, wink, while I'm picking up trash. Cars are flying up and down the road, right? We talk about traffic calming devices. This is about a 30-minute conversation. We just covered half of Bibb County's budget. These little things are important, and we pay close attention to them. I mentioned earlier about that kid walking to school and what it does to someone over the period of their life. So I want to talk about something that I saw Robert Dickey here earlier, and we have a little opportunity to speak with our local delegation before they go to the legislature. And I had that opportunity, and we had to do it by Zoom, which I sometimes despise, but I know it's necessary. Had an opportunity to ask them some things within a short period of time. And the only thing on my agenda that day was House Bill 1013. That was about mental health. I thought it had a chance because I saw just as many Republicans as Democrats on the bill. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine my surprise when I saw that people were going to work together to do what I think is right? See, mental health on the front end helps all of us on the back end. It makes David Davis's job a lot easier. Makes Anita Howard's job a lot easier. Makes Judge Colbert's job a lot easier. It saves us $55 a day from having to house somebody on Oglethorpe. So the only thing I ask them is, would you please support that bill? Because mental health matters, and I'm proud this last year that we set aside some funds because our commissioners felt like that we needed to have that. And we funded that. And we continue to fund that because we know it matters. And we did a targeted approach. We did an intentional approach. People don't need to have a stigmatism about getting the help they need. We have to remove all barriers. So we targeted the top areas that we knew had issues. We worked hand in hand with our school system. We know our students who are challenged the most. We know where they live. We know their family situations. So we decided to fund that effort. Mental health does matter. And that's why I'm glad it's part of our program. But when we talk about mental health, we have to hold ourselves in check. So I'm looking at a bunch of employers out here. I'm looking at my good friend in the very back, Andrea Cook, who at least she probably thought I would listen. And she was on me for about 8 months, day in and day out, asking me about having a mental health day for our employees. Just a simple change in a policy to recognize the needs of our employees. And I do like all men do. To some women, it's just, I listened, but I didn't hear her. So she'd send me another message. And I'd listen, but I didn't hear her. And then finally one day I said, you know, how can I advocate for mental health for our community when as mayor I'm not taking care of our own employees in that area? So this commission unanimously approved a mental health day for our employees. It's not additional time off. Yes, you can clap. It's not additional time off. It's not costing you any more money. But it's helping our employees in a time of need. I want you to do your part. Foundation, nonprofit, bank, employer. Offer this to your employees. Make that a priority of your employees. It will help your business. It will help the work environment that you have. Some may need more than others. I'm going to close up, I promise, but we have done so much in the last year. We're going to do so much in the next year, but we can't do this alone. We will if we have to. There's going to be challenges ahead. We can't predict or see today, but we have identified challenges before and hit them right on. I promise you that every day I wake up each and every day as part of Team Macon-Bibb. We're thinking about it every day on how we can best help our community. Each of you can help as well. You know the challenges we face. You know some of the hurdles that we have. You know some of the solutions that we have. If you got an idea, you have a project, let's talk about it. Let's find a way to make it happen. We can't be afraid to try something new or innovative. You think about all the things we have that we enjoy day in and day after, that we would not have if those naysayers would win and say, you can't do that. We don't do that around here. That's not possible. As I said earlier, this is more than just a game to me. It's more than just a game for us. It's bigger than that. We're not playing 9 innings and going home afterwards. This is the World Series. Yes, we will have our setbacks, but to win this series, we must not throw in the towel. We're in this for all 7 games if needed. But I'm here to tell you, I don't intend to lose. I don't know about you. But all I do is win, win, win. And that's what we're going to do in Macon-Bibb County. I expect us to walk off this field having given everything we have and more to go home as winners. Because winners is what our community deserves. And when we walk off that field, when we walk off as a team that knows we gave it all, we supported each other, we recognize each had their highlights and their bloopers, but we're still Team Macon-Bibb. And with this country and this world's eyes are upon us, we stepped up to the plate. We showed up, and we showed out. Thank you. It's a great day to be in Macon-Bibb County. And I'll tell you one last thing. I love you, and there's not nothing you can do about it.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the,